This is a USB stick. Yes, I know, very impressive. But a USB stick can do more than just moving documents and installing OSs. It can hold a lot of entertainment. So, how much? Yes, storage. The thing you probably need more of as games and apps are getting bigger and bigger. See, here is a hard drive with a copy of Photoshop 2019, and here's a hard drive with a copy of Photoshop 2020. I also did install COD MW3, the new one. So with a storage capacity of 1 GB, how much time could you get out of it? Or in different words, what if you had 1 GB? How much entertainment could you fit on it? This is actually a kind of flawed idea though, as to download the files, we need internet. And with internet, it means we can do a lot of stuff that doesn't involve downloading anything. See? I'm playing COD Zombies here, without taking up any space. So let's just say I can't use the internet, well, until I download everything. So for the first benchmark, why don't I just try 1 MB, just to see how much it can hold. That sound you just heard was not 1 MB, not 2 MB, but way more than the 1 MB limit. But this is a fact. This type of format is lossless, so in layman's terms, it uses a lot of storage. So what can we do? We could use a different audio format. So which one? Well, MP3 is probably the most popular and used audio format, so let's just use that one. So with a 5-minute audio, how much storage does it take? Ah, damn it! About 1 MB per minute of audio. That's not that much entertainment. So let's decrease the bitrate. Bitrate just means how much data is coming at a rate. Yeah, I know, it's pretty cool. So 64 kilobyte bitrate? Okay, that's still over the data limit. You know what? Let's just put it to 8 kilobits. Yeah, let's go, we're under the limit. We have so much data to spare. I can listen to about 15 minutes of audio in 1 MB. That's when disappointment sets in. Let's look into more audio formats. MIDI, a file type that you might know if you use a computer from this time period. As MIDIs were meant to be small in the way it was created, basically, instead of sending raw data to be processed, it uses instruments that were already on the system. Very basic, but it gets the job done. With a 2.5 minute audio, it goes down to 20 kilobits. So we can just compress a whole library? Can we? I'm asking you. With a great system like this, there must be some flaws. So why don't we just try to convert some of our MP3s into MIDI files? That's why we can't use speech, because it's not an instrument. And some converter tools don't understand the right instrument that's being used, so it sounds like this. I'm pretty sure there's not a piano being played here. So, is this it for audio? Why don't we just try some other audio solutions? After trying other solutions, I've had a day today. One of the better audio formats is Opus. This format is really good, like, really good. So good I can't even let you listen because I'll probably get copyrighted. So here's a non-copyright song. Here is MP3. And here's Opus. Wow, we can store a lot of audio in here now. But what now? Why not look into demos? Demos? Demos are demos. Really? The demo scenes are demos, and the demos are really small. Like this small. Yeah, very small. So they must not have any cool graphics, audio. What is that? They're pretty cool as 1 kilobyte of audio sounds like this, and a 1 kilobyte demo sounds like this. It's insane people got stuff like this to work in such small sizes. But in terms of entertainment, it's not very good. You may look at them, maybe talk about it once, and never open up the file again. So again, I ask, is there anything else to talk about? What about one, if not the first forms of entertainment? Books. They seem easy to compress as all it is just text. So one of the most popular book formats would be EPUB. Okay, 320 kilobits. Must be a pretty short story, huh? It's over 40,000 words. That's a lot of words. And it's just in 300 kilobits. And this book here has 100,000 words and only 600 kilobits. Wow, that is a lot of content in such small sizes. So anything bad about it? I don't know, I don't like reading. But that's kinda it. Oh, and some books are massive like this. I think this is due because they have images in them, and images aren't really good at compressing. Talking about images, how many images could we hold? It's actually a kind of dumb question as pictures can't really hold that much entertainment. But it's still a question I will answer. For a 1080p image in JPEG format, it's about 100 kilobits. Not bad. So about 10 1080p images. We could talk about AVIF, which uses the AV1 encoder to compress images, but again, images don't really give that much entertainment. So is that it? No more things to talk about? I guess not. The SNES is a game console, and the original Mario Bros was about 40 kilobits in size. Wait, what? 40 kilobits? That's like a lot for a game like Mario with so much content inside of it. Well, it's not that much content, but like, for this size, it's a lot. NES games are very small, like 40 kilobytes small. So we can just put a whole collection on PC and play? Well, actually no, we need an emulator first. So let's go find one. I'll just use FCSNES, as it's one of the most popular ones and it's open source. Oh damn it, it's over the limit. With the nature of like a game system like the NES, we could just find another one. Rock NES. It's about 500 kilobytes, and after unzipping it, okay, let's keep it unzipped. If we have more than 50% of 1 megabyte, we can still pack a lot of NES games in 500 kilobits, such as the original Mario Bros, Legend of Zelda, Metroid, Dr. Mario. These games have so much hours of content. Something like Legend of Zelda is a game that still holds up, and something like Dr. Mario just gives a lot of content as it's a puzzle game and it's just fun. Simple, easy fun. With all the games we got about like 10 hours of content, but in 500 kilobits it is pretty good. Also, one thing about Rock NES is it's closed source project, so I wouldn't be recommending it over something like FC NES, unless you really want to save 500 kilobits. Also, FC NES supports opening ROMs from zip archives, so the games can be smaller. So on the topic of gaming, why don't we try the Game Boy? That's why I think most Game Boy games don't really have that much content, as you're playing them on a screen you can barely see. So why put content in them when you can't even see the game? Well, that seems to be it. Imagine if it was a free game that was under 100 kilobits. Huh, that must not exist. This is a German word, and I don't know what it means, so it's pretty interesting how it works. See this asset right here? It's just a G and a special font being altered to make this cool asset. But it's pretty cool, just not fun. Just in my opinion, it's not very fun. I hope you can see why. All you do is just shoot these things, and that's kinda it. So now, how much content can we pack into 1 megabyte? First, we could probably pack about 20 minutes of audio. That sounds sorta okay. How much text could we hold? Probably about 200,000 words worth of books, which is a lot. That has to be more than 24 hours worth of content. But it's not very fun. In my opinion, we could pack more fun stuff. We could pack more demos, but again, they don't really offer that much content. So in my opinion, the best thing to pack would obviously be an NES emulator and a fat stack of NES games, as they probably and hopefully have hundreds of hours of content. That's it. I would pack in some NES games, maybe a song or two, and that's kinda it. So with all that included, I would say we get about 100 hours of content without getting bored, and if we get bored, bad things may occur. So what about 100 megabytes? Wow, 100 megabytes, that gives us so much content to include now. We can include like a lot of audio, like 10 hours of audio. Include maybe hundreds or even thousands of books. But the thing is, this type of entertainment isn't very entertaining. So what about more interactable stuff? Well, we can hold a lot more NES games, like a lot more. We can probably hold about 50% of the whole NES games. So we can just bring all the good ones, such as Kirby, Mario, 1, 2, and 3. And there's so many more to list off, but just know that all the games that you should bring will fit. Because a lot of the NES library is like this. So now we should probably talk about the new stuff we can bring, as we have so much more space now. So what about video, because why not? Here's a DVD copy of Batman, and after ripping it, it's over 6 GB. I don't feel like it will fit. The reason why it's so big is because it's uncompressed, so let's just compress it. I'm going to use H.264 and Opus for the audio. Here are the settings. Yes, 80 kilobytes per second. And I lowered the FPS to 20 because we need to save a lot on space. 32 kilobytes for audio. The video takes about 3 times the amount of bitrate than the audio. So hopefully this can make it under 100 megabytes. Oh no, the audio! Yeah, compressing a 3-hour movie is, how do I put it? Not good. As you can't even tell what's happening. Is that so good, man? So let's use a different codec. Let's use H.265 as it's supposed to be a successor to H.264. But it really isn't because it's not free. That's cool, I guess. Anyways, we have about the same size, but it looks, I guess, better. It's not good. It's like saying that getting stabbed is better than getting shot. Like, yes, but they both hurt. Well, one more codec because we really want Batman and 100 megabytes. AV1. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're probably using this codec as YouTube uses it. This is because it's free and much better than H.265 and pretty efficient. It's still not good, but it's better. Again, it's like saying stabbed is getting better than getting shot, but instead of getting stabbed, you're getting hit with a blunt object. Even decreasing the bitrate to 60 kilobytes isn't terrible. It's watchable, but not really. I feel like if we didn't use a 3-hour movie, it wouldn't be as bad. So why not try a 90-minute movie, just to see how it looks like. At 60 kilobits, well, it's okay. At 60 kilobits, it's basically as good as Batman one at 80 kilobits. So I say it's a success. We can pack about 2 hours of very compressed video. With this type of quality, we probably shouldn't even take the video as, again, this entertainment isn't very entertaining. I just want to speak about music for a second because, why not? There's so many FLAC files we can bring, as they're basically the top tier audio files as they're lossless and sounds the best. So looking at a 20-minute album, it's over 100 megabytes, 2 times the amount of 100 megabytes. How much Opus audio can we fit? So about a 5-minute clip of audio is about 5 megabytes, so 100 megabytes would be about 100 minutes of audio, so an hour and 40 minutes. Okay, let's just go into gaming. Peggle, I said it, yeah, Peggle. Yeah, it's a pretty small game with a large amount of content, like hundreds of hours, such as the main story, the challenges, the duels. Do I include duels? Let's just say I only have me. Wait, actually, you don't need another person to play duels. You can play with a bot. Oh, and finally, it's only 20 megabytes. That's about 100 hours per megabyte. That seems pretty good to me. There is a lot to speak about this game, just know that Peggle has a lot of content, for how small it is. So how many games could we include on this drive? I don't really want 50 games on the same drive, so I'll just say we'll have a max of 5 games, so what game should I take? Well, for a puzzle game, let's just take Peggle, because it's Peggle. So what about an FPS? We could take a Quake or a Doom. I would have taken an open source FPS called Assault Cube, but as we can't use online connection, it's pretty useless. So which one? Doom or Quake? Doom. 100% Doom. It's the game you think of FPS from. Quake does have b-hopping and such. It depends on what game you want. I would take Doom, but others may take Quake for the fast pace with speedrunning, which can give you a goal to beat. So looking at a GOG release, it's about 25 megabytes. Do not get the enhanced version. It has a little bit over the limit. So we should be able to run the game. No, we have a newer version of Windows and Doom uses DOS. So now what? No, I'm just kidding. The GOG version comes with DOSBox pre-installed. It's pretty cool to be honest. And for the version of Doom I got is called Doom Ultimate. It comes with all the worlds. That's a lot of content in about 25 megabytes. I think about 30 minutes per megabyte. So what about the next game? We do have about 60 more megabytes to spare. What about including another Peggle-like game? Yep, it's Nubby's Number Factory. It's a roguelike Peggle game. It's fun. It has a lot of content as every game you play is very different to the last one. And the challenges. But right now, we need to look at the size of the game. And looking at it, it's over 100 megabytes. Looking more in depth in the biggest files making us over 100 megabytes is called Audio Group. I wonder if we can remove Audio Group. Yep, we can. And look at the new size, it's only 65 megabytes. Well, good thing we can figure out how to make it smaller, but sadly we can't include it in this list. Just on this one. OpenTTD is an open source version of Roller Coaster Tycoon, and it's under 30 megabytes. It has so much content, as you can just do whatever you want. It's a sandbox game. But again, this is a great game in just small size. Also, it's free because it's open source. So we have 3 games, but we need 2 others under 30 megabytes. So what games could we get? Well, we could get another PC game, but I think we can emulate some games. The N64 is a great console for this. As for all the other consoles of this generation, they were using CDs, such as the PlayStation 1. And well, CDs are a little bit over the limit. The N64 used cartridges that were under 32 megabytes, and some games are way under that. So with the emulator Project 64, it comes out at 5 megabytes. Okay, good. So now we need some small games. Super Mario 64 is just 6 megabytes. Yeah, a game that people say is so good that you can still play now. And it's only 6 megabytes. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, what should our last game be? I would have said any of the Zeldas, but those are just over the limit. So I chose Paper Mario because people say it's good. I should probably trust them. So with that, we have 5 massive games with hundreds, maybe even thousands of hours in just 100 megabytes. That's pretty good. In 100 megabytes, we could probably fit about a 3-hour movie. We can fit about 100 minutes of good sounding audio. And I guess in text we can bring like a whole library. So now, off to the last thing, 1 gigabyte. Wow, we can hold so much information with only 1 gigabyte, such as lossless audio without anything in the way. A 25-minute audio in lossless format is about 200 megabytes, so about 1 hour of audio in lossless format. What about HD video, as we couldn't get good quality in 100 megabytes. So again, I'm going to be using AV1 and Opus Audio. The video is about 500 megabytes for an hour of 1080p stream. That's pretty good. So 1 gigabyte can give you 1 movie in 1080p HD. The bitrate isn't the best, but it's watchable. And if you have a smaller screen, it looks pretty good. And I should probably talk about this. Books. Yeah, we can hold like over 100 million words now. But we don't want books, we want games. So first is Nubby's Number Factory. I've already said this, but this game already has like 100 hours of content. And it's only about 120 megabytes. So now what? I kind of do want an open world game that has hundreds of interactions. We could get Fallout 1. It is a game from 30 years ago, so it must be pretty small. Did you know Animal Crossing was on the GameCube? And it was going to be originally on the N64? You can tell by how big it is. It's under 32 megabytes. And the Dolphin emulator is just 64 megabytes, so about 100 megabytes for the emulator in the game, which is pretty good. Animal Crossing isn't a game you just play for a long time at once, but you play it once a day just to see what's happening. And for that I add it to the list. Hotline Miami. What does it say? It's a great arcade type shooter. You try to beat your high scores? One other reason I put it here is because it's fun. That's kind of it. So we have 580 more megabytes to go through. Faster Than Light. It's a good roguelike with hours of content. How many times do I have to say hours of content? Yeah, it's a pretty good game. Has a lot to do. Also, it's a roguelike, so every game through is different. And the size is 220 megabytes. Talking about roguelikes, let's talk about roguelikes that everyone likes. Balatro. What is there to say? It's Balatro. Some people have a device that's just dedicated to Balatro. Oh, it's only 70 megabytes. So how much more space do we have? 290 megabytes. Well, what else could our last game be? We need a game that has hours of content, and you know, can probably take up the rest of the space. This game isn't 300 megabytes in space. It's only 75, but it's still a great game. Plants vs Zombies. What to say about it? It's a great game with hours of content, and it's made by PopCap. I feel like I've heard that name before. Wait, it's the same people who made Peggle. Talking about Peggle, it has so much content. The story mode already has 100 hours of content. I'm trying to speedrun it. Oh, did I tell you about the duels? Or the challenges? Some of the challenges include